Stop it. Unpin. This one. Pin. Yes. I wish it stopped asking permission every single time I launch it, though. That's kind of annoying. Anyway. Why, hello. Adjust the microphone here a little bit. All right. Welcome, everyone. Except for I think I have to connect every single time like this. Yeah. Sure do. Cool. Anyway, welcome. This is a early morning stream. And I'm noticing an issue here. So this world, I've been playing both on my computer at home and on my laptop at work. And the issue I'm having is, as I do this, it wipes my saved stuff here gets wiped every time it reconnects from or resyncs from the one computer to the other. It wipes it. So every time I set that up and then I run with it, it wipes it out and then it's gone. So yeah, that's gonna be a whole ordeal for a while. Anyway, so as of the moment, this is where I'm at so far. It is no pollution. It is an island in the middle of a bunch of peninsulas. That's what this world is. I think I need to drop my music a little bit here. Mixer. You know, that really kind of freaks me out that it jumped to that. Albums. Okay, so my music thingy changed, and I don't like it at all. No, I want albums. Is there an albums? I want album. Okay, so I'm using some new software. But it's kind of hokey the way it works. Yeah, because this goes by album artist, not by album. Why did they change it? That's so dumb. I miss the good old days where I could just say, I want to go to this album. But that doesn't, apparently that's not a thing anymore in this world. No, I don't want... This program used to be so good, and now it's a piece of crap. I don't understand how to use it anymore. Like, I'm trying to, ready for this? I'm trying to get to my albums. Can't find it. I have album artists. I don't have albums. Like, I can sort by album artists. I can't sort just by albums. And I can't just say, I want to look at my albums. It won't let me do that either. And now it has me locked on some artists I don't care about. Again, we're by artist, not by album. What the crap? Sorry, I'm just going to sit here and freak out for a minute. How the crap? Music. Okay. Album. I'm still being sorted by artist. I'm still not being sorted by... Okay, I'm so confused. I'm trying to... Oh, stack insert, fast insert, double long, fast filter. Oh. Okay. Can I say... play shuffled? See, here's the part I don't understand. How come I can't just say, play this sound, this album? I don't know if that worked. And it's so quiet, I can't tell. See, the problem is I need a true blue mixer because on my end, I'm trying to just be able to hear the frickin' music and it won't let me. Is that working? The idea is I'm trying to listen to the Borderlands soundtrack. Borderlands 2 soundtrack. That's what I was going to do. I was like, today I'm going to listen to the Borderlands 2 soundtrack. Let's try that. Alright, well, we're going to give that a go. And I really need to figure out how to change Discord so it doesn't auto-launch me into voice chat every time I start. Okay, let's see here. Factorio Metalheads. At everyone. Streaming Factorio. For a bit. As the cat freaks out on me. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? Come here. Hey, handsome. Gotta grab the cat. Come here. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha, Fluff. Hi. Come here. Let me love you. Hi, bud. How you doing, kitty cat? Now, I am streaming at wee hours of the morning on a Sunday, meaning probably no one will be on, so that's all good. It's most likely just going to be me dinking around for like 2 hours, so, but that's okay. It's what I get for streaming outside of my usually scheduled time frames. So, oh well. Oh, and then I want my chat over top. There we go. But yeah, basically I'm just going to be playing for like 2 hours. Oh, good. I finally got another 400. Alright, so basically what we've got going on right now is this world is doing pretty good. It really is. The issue is I'm trying to get it set up. Okay, there we go. You guys are running out here. Perfect. Give me that. There we go. Give me that. So, I set up a very, very basic bus to start off. And now that I have said very basic bus set up, I can now start actually, I ran the basic bus, ran some basic science, ran it for a really long time, got a bunch of stuff done. Now I'm trying to set up where I can build an actual place to harvest from now. Grab that one, grab that one. I have these giant resource patches. Now here's the interesting thing about this map I'm on here. If you look, throw our pollution on. Yeah. The interesting thing is we're connected right here, and that's it. Interestingly enough, though, we are polluting the heck out of these guys over here. My cat's getting into the closet behind me. So I'm polluting the heck out of these guys over here, not over here. Hey, Nate, how you doing, boy? So I'm polluting this side. I'm not polluting anyone over here, and so the enemies would, in theory, be attacking from this peninsula, but I'm not polluting anyone on this peninsula that's actually angry enough to attack me. So I'm polluting the heck out of these guys, but they're not attacking me because there's no path to me. And so we'll just have to see how that goes. At the moment, what we got going on is I'm resetting my science maker in here. So we're gonna have red and we're gonna have green, and then we're gonna have so we have these two set up, and then I'm gonna throw down another building with you need stone bricks. Stone. I'm doing good. Started a Death World Island. How does that work? Is it a big island or is it a little island? A Death World Island. Okay. Now, I have some better resources at my disposal now. Whoops. As I go get them. I have some little craft machines, which will allow me to make this a lot more streamlined. Okay, so let's start off with... Alright, so we got that there. While I'm waiting for my little crafting machines to build, I'm just going to tear this up. Here we go. Alright, so I need 1 output of copper plus 1 output into a feed of iron. You guys to have your own split like that, except for I'd prefer it was the other way. Okay, so the idea here, screw that, we can let this just go. Alright, so I need a little crafting machine, and I think I only need 1. Today we're actually listening to the... No, I'm on a little island, but not a lot of resources. Only about 2 mil of iron and 1 mil of copper. Do you have mods that are going to open up additional resources to you? Or are you just stuck with what you're stuck with? Because that's going to determine your true difficulty. If you have lots of resources, or lots of resource generation later, then you'll do really well. It just depends on the mission, you know what I mean? I've played worlds where I started with the absolute minimum resources on a tiny island, and then I had mods installed that gave me resource production, and so I had to produce all of my ores and all of my fuels using the mods. That was actually a pretty fun world. Let's see here. You're making basic red. There's a chance I'm going to be doing something a little silly with this world at some point, just because I have absurd amounts of resources and not a whole lot to do with it. Oh, you got resources on other islands. Now, are you using a special mod to generate your islands? Because I have found that the other islands, if you do just the base game or whatever, the base island setup, the resources are who knows where. Like, I have a really hard time actually getting or having resources because I have no idea where they actually are most of the time, which sucks. Okay, so we need a whatchamawick maker. scissors? I mean, I've got a pair of fingernail clippers. You just need to, like, trim a... Oh, yes. Okay. So I'm going to do that so I have access to this box here. This one's going there. Let's see here. See, I made a mistake when I spawned this world. And the mistake I made was I didn't mess with the... Oh, thank you. I didn't mess with the ore levels enough. And so because I didn't mess with the ore levels enough, literally it's like I go one patch out and it's like 8 million. I'm like, okay, like I will literally not need to expand hardly at all because there's so much resources. I was hoping the initial plan was to make it so I started on a really, really tiny island, so I was very, limited in space that would force me to expand and therefore, have to fight and conquer the enemies to gain land. Ultimately, that's still going to be true, just not to the scale I was hoping. In theory, the enemies have, I believe I left it so that the enemies do expand and stuff, so I will still have to fight them for land. It just won't be nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. It'll still be a ton of fun, and I'm going to try and run this world as long as I can. The issue I have is I'll play... There are certain things that I really enjoy about this game, and so I'll set up worlds specifically to do that, and then I'll find out that one thing is set up wrong, and then it's like, at that point it's like, okay, I'm 56 hours in, and the thing that I specifically wanted didn't work correctly, and so then it's like, okay, I guess I'm restarting. Which is where the number of worlds where I actually launch a rocket, per se, is actually quite low, just because by the time I get far enough into the game, to get what I want, it's like, oh, the world didn't load correctly, or it didn't do what I wanted. Alright, let's see here. Maybe I can run it that way. I didn't think I was going to be able to, but maybe I can. Like I started a large spawn area, but with the Death World settings. Yeah, see, something like that works. The issue that I run into is, typically I run rampant, but lately it hasn't been scaling as well as it used to. Like, it used to scale really well for me, and lately it hasn't been, which is sad. But what do you do, Alright, let's see. We need a gear maker into an arm. Okay. So we're going to have arm in, gear in, iron in, like that. And then we're going to go an out, into one of you with one of you. Yeah, I thought this was going to take a lot more space, and it didn't. So, oh well. It works. It's fine. Alright, so you're going to make gears. Okay. We do have to have an iron input here. Did we determine this is long enough? It's not long enough. Let's see here. So if I need to if I need to send a guy over, I could send one like that, and then feed an arm in, and then feed an arm in, and then I'll just have to do something really weird over here. mix, it's just going to look funny. Like that. Okay, so that's producing arms here. This guy is going to produce yellow belts, plus a little guy to produce gears, plus a few arms. So we got arms in, arms in, arms in, belt out. Like that. So that will redo green science. So we have red science redone, green science redone, and it's all inside this tiny little building. And then from here, I'm going to go and output. Like that, and it's going to be second from the top. So the way I do this is I set these up where I will have an output of the resources, an extra output. So like this building has an extra, if you think about it, typically you need 2 of these feeding into one of those, but with the efficiency, 3 feeds into 2. So I can have 3 feed into 2, have 1 feed the arm, and then 1 is just completely extra. And so that'll just feed out, and then that'll just give me a source of circuits that I can access. Your biggest issue is finding the right type of mods that work really well together. It's true. I've had some mods that work phenomenal together, and then I've had some that, for the most part, work together. The issue that I've had, primarily, is that there's a bunch of mods that I really enjoy, and then there's a bunch of mods that are, they're really fun, but they don't, they change aspects of the game versus just add. Like, if you think of it this way, I like to play my Factorio kind of like you would play a Sky Factory in Minecraft, where you go, we have 1 or 2 major long-term goals that you're aiming at, and the mods give you about 11 different ways to get there. Like, that's the way I play, is I have a collage of mods that all add a different route to the same end, and then I pick and choose the ones I want to do, and I go, this one sounds like fun, let's build this. This one sounds like fun, let's build this. Like, for example, for this world, I just reinstalled Bioindustries for the first time in like forever and a half, and the new Bioindustries oil is actually really fun. It's very low pollution. It takes a lot of pieces to make it work, but once you set it up, like, I think it takes 10 fertilizer to start it. So you need a total of like 2 sulfur. You need 2 sulfur to start your science using Bioindustries, and that's it. You need 2 sulfur to start it, and then you're done. That's all. From there, you can completely automate it using just Bioindustries to produce oil, or to produce all the different oil pieces, or to produce the byproducts altogether using just Bioindustries, which is kind of funky. For example, if we go oil, Bioindustries, so up here, to start, so you get a bioreactor to start, and then you have to get 1 cycle of algae biomass started, which I don't believe there's, when I was looking, I didn't see any way to create it minus the starting path. Yeah, you have to take 10 to recycle at your tier 3. And then that one requires algae to produce algae, right? Yeah, so your very first cycle takes 10 fertilizer, and it's 5 fertilizer per sulfur, I believe. So it's like 2 sulfur, 1 or 2 sulfur to start it. And so you run 1 cycle of algae biomass using fertilizer and water. You run 1 cycle, and that produces algae. And then you go algae, liquid air, water, produce algae, and then you just make a giant machine, or a giant building's worth of stuff, and all it does is produce algae using this recipe. Algae, liquid air, water. And then you just have this massive amount of algae biomass ready to go. You then pump that into the next building, and you do this cycle. Steam, algae biomass, plus coal. And then that gives you oil and water. And then you immediately take the oil and water and mix that with your tier 3, which is water and crude oil. You immediately mix it with this guy, and then have that dump in to... And so what you end up doing is you end up using the excess water from this here. You use the excess water to make more steam, and then also to feed this one here, because you use half as much water in this cycle, and then this one you use the exact same in as the exact same out. So it's 50 water in, or 50 steam in, 50 water out. So you run it, and you end up just taking that same water and refueling the same system, looping it back in, and then that's how you run it. And then so at that point you now have oil, and then from there you can then dive back into your normal oil processes to make your plastic, make your whatever. Or you then continue and you go, well, we're gonna take the algae plus the water, and then there's the cellulose, which is wood pulp. So you have other systems that are generating wood pulp on the side. You take the wood pulp and turn it into cellulose, and then you can turn around and make your sulfuric acid doing that, or you can then do the other ones. Pardon me. Bio boiler. Pollution 15 per. I actually want to look into that at some point anyway. But yeah, that's the basic of it. So you get fertilizer. Oh, you don't even, well, it's still 1 sulfur. Yeah, fertilizer you get 5 fertilizer per 1 sulfur. So you need 2 sulfur to start the process. And then at that point, you're good to go. Yeah. Yeah, so literally you need to get 1 sulfur. Which, alright, let me try something here. Yokai Automated Trade. Sorry, I was eating something weird this morning and my nose is all stuffy now. I was checking to see if there was a Unicomp option to get sulfur. You can get plastic, and you can get petroleum, and you can get your basic oils. So technically, I could potentially Yokai trade to get enough oil to start my stuff. I could potentially start it using Unicomp. Now, Unicomp is an interesting one because typically... Oh, and here's the funny thing. So if you notice, I have no N7 or... What's the other one called? I have no N4 or F7. That's what it is. I have no N4 or F7 on the map. And the reason why is the resource generation for those 2 resources is broken. It's not correct. Basically, what I was having was when I would go to generate the world, I would end up with a patch about that big of 1 resource. Like, that would be how big 1 N7 patch would be. Or N4, F7, that's what it is. Like, 1 patch would be that big, and it would be in the middle of my base. So, like, I was like messing with the sizes, messing with the, everything. The frequency versus the size determines how big the patches are typically. The more frequent they are, the tinier the patches are by default. And so I was messing with that to try and shrink it down, and it sort of worked. So ultimately what I ended up doing was I took them out, I made it so that neither one of those spawned naturally, and I'm going to have to use the quarries to get those resources at all. Which, and honestly, I've considered doing more of that anyway, and just being like, I have to run, like, I wish that there was a generation option that could say only in starting area. So, like, you could say, I'm going to start with 500,000 iron, and 250,000 copper, and then, like, 150k, 150k of those 2 resources in just my starting area, and then have no resources spawn across the rest of the map. And literally be like, my mods have to be able to produce everything and keep up with everything. And then what I would do is I would do that setup, and then I would make it a super death world on like an island where it's like I'm on an island with like 2 ways in or 3 ways in, and then I would just have that be my death world. And so then I'd be like, all of my mods would have the ability to create my resources, and then I would just be landlocked on this tiny island, trying to survive as long as possible. Kind of a thing. The issue I'm having at the moment is I do have some oil nearby, but it's next to these enemies, and I just don't know if I put a land bridge there, am I going to immediately have these guys suddenly start attacking me? That's the part I don't know. And there might be some trial and error where I might like save the game, run across, and see what it does, kind of a thing. The other option was to go for a train and just drop a... Because I have beautiful bridgeways here, or beautiful railways, so I can do this. And then I don't have anywhere building engines yet, do I? Yeah, I don't think I have any engines in production. So let's just throw down a basic engine maker. Steel, gears, oh, and you need pipe. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 100. And then I'll just let that run forever. So an interesting thing about this one, my last world that I was playing, I had access to, like, I was at hypermodule like level 5 or 6 at this point in the game. I'm at level 0 because no enemies have aggroed on me yet. And that's the whole, because I have just these tiny little peninsula openings, could I adequately turn rampant back on? Probably. I think I could turn rampant back on now that my base is landlocked so tightly. I have a lot more control over the combat now, which was one of the issues I had with my last world where I ended up quitting, or at least turning off rampant, was I couldn't do anything. After about 7 seconds, I got attacked. Well, like, I was like 35 hours into the game and hadn't been attacked hardly at all. Or like, I'd been attacked, but they were easy. It's like, oh yeah, fight it off. Oh yeah, fight it off. Oh yeah, fight it off. No problem. And then all of a sudden I'm playing and I got mauled. Like, I was sitting there and like, I was telling OpQ about this yesterday. I was playing and all of a sudden it says I'm under attack, and I go, oh, I'm under attack. And I look down and there was, each attack wave was about 100 to 150 biters, and I was up to blue biters at that point. So like approximately 150 biters a wave were coming in to attack my base, and I had, I think, 8 or 9 waves in one screen coming at me. And literally I had just expanded, so my wall was like fresh. My wall was fresh with like 2 or 3 sets of turrets. And here came like 700 to 1,000 enemies in one stream coming at me, because it was like attack wave, attack wave, attack wave, attack wave. And I'm like, I don't have the resources for that. And literally, like, in my hands, I was holding my first laser. I was ecstatic. I'm like, woohoo, my lasers! I started lasers. And so I'm holding a laser, and here comes 1,000 enemies. And I'm just like, well, that's not good. They totally wiped me out. Like, it was not even close. Like, and it's one of those where it's like, it didn't scale well. Like, I went from little attack waves that were no big deal to you're dead in one attack wave. Like, there was no scale to it. It was just, it's not a it's not a competition, and now you're dead. It's like having a game of, like, it was like I was like having a water fight with a bunch of little kids, and then someone comes over with like and so it's like I'm playing, like, I've got like a super soaker and I'm fighting a bunch of kids with squirt guns, right, and I'm winning, and then all of a sudden a fire truck pulls up, attaches, and just wipes me out with a fire hose. It's just like, that was how the scale jumped. It was just like, and you're dead. Yeah, I got rampant on my playthrough, but we'll see how it works on your world. But also, you put better turrets. See, I have modular turrets, is what I think it's called. Modular. Oh! I am so sorry. I killed my microphone, and it's going to kill you guys. I apologize. Modular turrets is one of my favorite mods when it comes to combat. And it adds all kinds of cool stuff. So it adds turrets that have... It adds frontline and backline style turrets where you'll have like one turret type, but there's a frontline version and a backline version. The idea being that you have like an ammunition rail going down the middle, and so you've got like 1 or 2 rows of turrets on the front, and then you got 1 or 2 turret rows on the back. So the front ones attack quickly and do decent damage. The back row turrets do more damage, a little bit more damage, have longer range, but shoot slower. And so the idea is you end up with multiple levels of stuff. And then you get all kinds of new ammos along with it. So it's like you've got new turrets, new lasers. Where was the one? Is Gamma the top turret? I think Gamma's the top turret. So Gamma is the top turret. It does 150 poison damage, shooting speed of twice a second, range of 32, but it's an energy consumption of 5 megawatts per shot. Oh, and it has a limited radius. It can only shoot so far in front of it. That's the other thing it adds, is it adds, like, there's a scatter shot turret, which is a shotgun turret, but it can only aim directly in front of it. It has like a 35, 45 degree angle. So like, let's see here, 90 would be 90, 45 would be a half, about 45, 50 degree probably on the scatter shot turret. But that's if you want to make shotgun rounds and have shotgun rounds belt fed out to your turrets. I did find that mod was very appropriate for playing against Rampant. I found that out very quickly, that it was very much an appropriate mod for it. The problem was my world had the closest oil was in the middle of the enemy, so I had to fight off a ton of enemies to get to my very first oil patch, which put me behind as far as my research tiers. Like, if I had already been to lasers by the time that first attack wave I was describing earlier had hit, if I had already been to lasers by that point, I wouldn't have cared, you know, because I would have been advanced enough that it's like, I'm fine, I'll be just fine. But I wasn't, was the problem. So by the time that first attack wave hit, that first big one, I wasn't ready. This world, now that I think about it, because of the choke points, I think it very much will be able to handle that. So here, let's save and let's add that real quick. Quit, mods, install, Rampant. Install. We're gonna try it. The nice thing about Rampant though is, even if you don't like it, you can always remove it. The problem is if you remove it, you have to then put the kill command in to wipe out the most basic enemies that are, because what happens is if any enemies that are currently under the Rampant algorithm, if you take Rampant out, they just shut down basically. So suddenly there'll be giant attack waves sitting there and they won't move, they won't attack, they won't do anything, they just sit there. And like literally you'll walk up to them and like bump your body against them and they won't attack you. Like they're just, the AI is broken on them because you took out Rampant. Alright, so we're doing back to roots with Rampant added in now. Oh, Rampant version, index, chunks, versions, please wait. Okay. So now we re-added Rampant, so we'll see how that goes. And I have an absurd amount of pollution. The thing about Rampant is I don't know... Currently the nearest enemies that can attack from this direction are not even spawned in yet. Like we've got, I think that's like a handful of turrets, but there's no spawners there. Oh, funny thing about this world too, by the way, this world is a maxed out enemy world, meaning it started me with my what do you call it, my spawn area or whatever. I have my initial spawn area. As soon as I step out of it, it's like this, packed out here. Which I kind of want to see if I can get. Here, let's try something here. So I have a bad hip. That's part of my military experience, and so because of that, as I'm doing stuff like this, the longer I do it, the more my hip starts to hurt. On games like this, so I end up leaning forward because it hurts less when I'm leaning forward with my hip. Which is where I end up doing this the whole time. I don't know if you've noticed, like watching me stream, after a while I'm up like this, and it's because my hip starts to hurt. What I was going to do is I was going to see about setting up a radar way down here somewhere to see if we could get... Oh, there's a worm on that island. There's a single small worm on that island. I was going to run down like here and like set up one radar and see if I could get more enemies to spawn in. The issue that I'm going to run into right now is there's two ways to do this. There's the smart way, and then there's the smart semi-cheap way to do it, and then there's the, pardon the phrase, balls to the walls method, right? And so the difference is, if I want to go the cheap method, cheap/smart method, what I would do is I would build a train. I would set up a train that its entire job is to go like from right here to right here. That's it. And then what would happen is I would go just step on the train and then drive it across the water, right? Which is, and then I'll show you, like, the idea being to continue to allow this to be an island. And then what I would do is I would bring enough turrets and ammunition and resources with me to be able to like go across and establish a foothold over here on this side, and then that would be what they would be attacking. That way, if a huge attack wave comes and just wipes this side out, it doesn't get to my main base. My main base is still safe. And the ultimate plan would be to go over here because there's oil. See, there's oil there, there's oil there. Because of the map, the mods that I have, I don't need a ton of resources to be able to handle it. I can ultimately produce most of them myself after a while. So here's the question. As far as oil production goes, it's on a quarry Mark III. Okay, so I have to have a level 3 quarry, or I have to be doing Unicomp with the trade. I either have to be doing Unicomp to get it there, or I don't have it researched yet. What's it called? Market? Market. So market, which is this one, I can use space coins. Let's see here. So the idea is I can spend research. It's a beautiful system, I think. The design is you can spend your excess research and sell it to get coins, and then you can turn around and spend those coins to get other things. So like, for example, late game, I think early is you can sell, late is you can buy. But the idea is you can buy, see, that's all the way to tier. Is it really that far out? Because that one is selling. Interestingly enough, though, it takes the science to be able to get more of the science. So you can't cheat the science system. You still have to be able to at least produce it. So early on is science, late game. Well, I mean, that's not even late game because it's orange. If you have orange, yeah, as soon as you get the basic science, you can immediately build this. So if I wanted to set up, like, this is basically a more sensible black market mod, or market for the game. And the idea is that, okay, so this one would unlock basics. You can do, so it's 20 coins there, 50 coins there, 20 coins there, 30 coins, and 40 coins. Okay, and then from there you can then upgrade further. I don't understand why they didn't divide this up a little bit more. Like, you would think basic ammunition, right? Basic firearm mags. You would think of that one, basic shotgun shells, basic cannon shells, basic rockets. Pretty much that. You would think those basic ones would come with, like, basic buying, like right here. You know what I mean? Black market mod is broken for me. You've tried to use it. Broken is in, like, it doesn't work, or broken is in it works too well. Because chances are the answer to what you're saying is yes. That's probably the answer. I know because I've used it. I used to use black market a lot. And the reason why I used black market a lot was it allowed me to skip about 30 hours of gameplay. Oh, it doesn't work at all? Oh. See, I used black market a ton, and I had a lot of really good results from using it. The thing that I would use it for is I would do, like, for example, I would split my sciences, so I'd go like this. And I'm doing this anyway because I want to do it this way. Let's throw these down. It tried to find one item and it can't find it. Oh, so like there's one item that doesn't spawn correctly or doesn't load correctly. So basically the way this works is you go output right, okay? And then from here, so let me explain. So basically you go output right like this. that. So we're going to go like that. So basically, the way it works is you set it up like this. Okay? So you go basic sciences in, like that, right? And then what you do is you would have two interstellar machines here. You'd have one for red and one for green, right? And then you would have it go like this. So you'd put that out like that, and then you'd have a chest like that, and then you would have arms. You'd have one arm out, one arm out, one arm in, one arm in, and then you have a building here, and its job is to sell green science for coins. And then you have another one here that's supposed to sell red science and give you coins. And then you output your priority into the building with your science. So that way your science is prioritized, the science packs are prioritized for science, but then when, let's say, you're done doing science, let's say you've researched all of your green and all of your red and you're waiting to do blue, right? At that point, you're still selling the excess science, and at that point it's used to make money, the interstellar coins, to then start buying resources with. The biggest thing that I think people have as far as issue-wise with any market system is it can be maximized and it can be abused, quote unquote. And what I mean by that is if we look at it, so let's go market again. Market, no, not market, market. The way it can be abused is simply this. You can set up, where is it? Basic. Okay, one space coin is let's see, 5 basic science equals 1 coin, right? 5 green science equals 5 space coins. Last time I checked, green science is really, really easy to make. So like red science, I don't think is quite worth the, like, let's see here. If we look at our science cost, 2 and 1 versus 5.5 and 1.5. Yeah, for sure. So basically, if you go for the market mod, or you go for the market system, and then you automate green science, and you can make an entire building, a giant like tier 3 building to just make green science, a crap ton of it, and then you immediately dump it in and sell it to make space coins. Okay, you can then market the space coins using green science, and then you can say, we're going to buy nuclear bombs with it. 350 space coins equals 1 atomic bomb. You can get to the point where you're selling green science, and then you're farming green science to buy atomic bombs. Like, that's why people don't like it, is because you can cheat the system heavily, because atomic bombs is pretty far in your research. Like, if we go atomic, the atomic bomb is very late game. Like, you have to have, what is that, high-tech science? You have to have high-tech science, 5,000 high-tech science to even research it. And you can totally bypass it using the science, or using the market mod. And that's where people don't like the market mod. One that I used to do a lot was the dark matter replicators, and I absolutely love the dark matter replicators. I still do. I think it's a great mod. The thing that you have to do is you have to set some basic rules on yourself to balance it out for that exact reason, because if you don't, it is very, very powerful and can be easily abused, which is where people are like, oh, you're using that mod's cheap. And it's like, let's keep tearing all this up. We've now taken, so this whole ordeal here was our science. We were producing red and green science, and then we had just a crap ton of labs sitting here. So now we've got all of this done. We're picking all this up, and then we're going to take it and start automating it. Now, for me, I'm absolutely going to use the coin economy to get certain resources early on. Not even early on as much as an extra source to earn those resources. And the reason being is because of how much ore I have. Like, I might honestly set up where I'm farming ores, or I'm farming the sciences to make the coins, and then spending the coins to get, say, extra red circuits or extra blue circuits or something. I might actually do something like that for this world because I have so much resource. Noah, how you doing, man? What are we doing? We are doing an island warfare. We are doing an island warfare game. And we are doing... sorry, I'm setting this up real quick. We're doing island warfare and we're doing rampant. I think we're only going to do this high this time. Like that. Pardon me. Yeah, we'll just do 3 across the board. Just make it easy. So suicidal, try not to get killed, run. Yeah, pretty much. It's not a death world by any means. I mean, it is rampant, but it's because I'm on the island peninsula thingy that I'm on. See, I'm on this island. Ooh. Okay, so rampant has started. This is rampant initializing is what that is. And we're already up to red biters, which is good because we have no military production at this point. You're trying the deadlock stacking box? Yeah, I have that, and I haven't touched it yet. We'll have to see if it's good or not, huh? Oh yeah, I tore up the... Oh no, I didn't tear up the gear maker yet. Stop it. Stop building gears in my inventory. I already have that. Alright. So the idea is to set this up where... Ooh, that's right. I backed up one. If we're doing that, then this one's actually going to come in from that angle. Like that. And then we're going to feed in like that. Cool. Alright. You just need one stack and another to unstack. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Well, here's my thing about that stacking thing. It's cool. I don't know where I would use it. Like oh, okay, let me rephrase. I wouldn't use it because I have this. Okay? Because here's the ultimate idea of how you would do it, okay? Let's say you're setting up a bus, okay? The way you would use that mod, which makes sense, I mean it definitely still has its uses. Can we research level 2 real quick? That one. Do level 2 real quick. Level 2 stacking. The basic idea of it is you go something like this. You'd go 2 chests, and you would feed an output, 2 stacking, with another chest. Let's go ton of iron. And then you want power to run. The idea is it lets you move more of a resource through at a certain set of time. You just need now a Death World marathon with rampant on max. Not a good idea. I've tried. I mean, I could do it. It'd be fun. But it uses the same amount like iron plate, normal stacks, and that was just 20 per stack. See, I've done that before where I would do, for example, oh, in fact, I have a really good example actually. Let's let this finish running its cycle. I've actually done something similar to that in the past. And I wonder how it would work with the mods I have installed. In fact, let me try. set this up. What's the cycle on running that? It doesn't say. Oh, there it is. 0.3 seconds. So like here, let me share an idea with you here. So the idea would be something to this effect. Let's come in here. I might need to back this up just a hair. I'm gonna stop that for a second. Let that finish. So the idea is something to this effect. Let's say you have a crap ton of a resource that you don't need a lot of most of the time, right? So coal is a pretty good example of that. In fact, let's look at coal. Coal's a great example. Okay, if we get rid of this guy, get rid of you, get rid of you. One, two, three. Get rid of you. Oh no. No. Okay, so on my screen it's black and flickering. So like, let me show you this real quick. So the idea would be something to this effect. Oh, stacking is still level 1. That's okay. We'll do stacking level 1 for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set an output here. And we're going to say this output is going to be stacks of coal. Stacks of 5, okay? And then from here, we're going to go... Oh, the stacking belt boxes are automatic. That's cool. You don't have to prioritize them. So give me that. Okay. And then here we're going to go a stacker with an output. And then power. So this is a good example of how this would work. Okay? Oh, and then we're going to do an output just to automate this. So you are going to filter out coal. Perfect. And then we're going to set you here. Like that. So this is the basis of it, okay? This is a good way. Oh, Noah, for sure, man. We'll catch you later. So this is the idea here, okay? The idea is... Hang on. Save, save, quit, play, load, load. Hey, I can see it now. There's a glitch in this game where I think it has to do with multiple computers playing with one save file. Because I have my laptop set to sync for this file, and I have my desktop, which is what I'm on now, set to sync this file. So what happens is I'll be playing on my laptop at work, and then I'll be playing here at home when I'm streaming and stuff. But anyway, so this is a prime example of how this is used, okay? So for example, we are taking... But that's not a better stack ratio. It's the exact same size. Stack of 5. Every 5 is 5, so 25 times 5 is 125. It's the exact same stacking ratio. Is that supposed to be that way, or is Bioindustries doing that? I think Bioindustries is doing that, because these are stacks of 125 too. You know, Yokai is changing it. Yeah, that's the weird part. Does yours do it too, Nate? Is yours also changing the stack size? But anyway, the basis here is that it would, in theory, it would let you have... Yeah, it's flickering again. When I'm inside the warehouses... Can you see it on my face? You see the screen flickering? Yeah. When I'm looking into... trying to see if there's something specific that's... Oh. Anyway, it flickers when I'm on that. See, because that's the part that doesn't make sense. What is the point of stacking it of this? See, now it stopped flickering. What's the point of stacking them if one stack of this is the exact same as one stack of that? That means you're going to save space on belt, but you're not going to save space inside of warehouses. See, interesting thing. When I'm up here, it flickers. When I scroll down, it doesn't. So a full warehouse of coal makes my screen flicker. So can you see it flickering on my hand, right? And then I scroll down, and it stops flickering. Isn't that weird? Let's try here. That one's flickering. Let's say I scroll down. I don't know if there's still resources there. Oh! The top half... I don't know. I don't know. That's so weird. Yeah, that part doesn't make sense. I don't know what the point of that is then. The fuel level is different on the coal. Right, but you still have to unpack it to be able to use it, though. Yes, handsome. Hi. There's a cat begging for my attention. What it ultimately will do is it will save you space on the belts, but it won't save you space in the chests. That's what I'm noticing. So question, Nate, does your game currently have the stack size of 125 on all the resources and then 400 on the stone? Or is that the Bio Industries that's doing that? Because that's something... Sorry, I'm petting the cat. Hey, kitty. Hi. He's like, love me. Because let me share another thought with you. The thought would be to set up a stacker here. Okay, so let's... Yeah, you're filtering iron out. Okay. So if you're filtering iron out, I'm waiting for stacking level 2 to hit. Stacking 2 gives you stacking on higher pieces. See, I'm still struggling to see why you would ever use stacking if it's the exact same size, you know what I mean? Hi, kitty. So you said yours is the exact same size, right? Like you have the stacks of 125 as well? That's the part that doesn't make sense. If you did the stacks and then had the stacks fit, like let's say you had... So is yours normal stacks of 50 instead of stacks of 150? Or are you using that mod as well? Because the idea would ultimately be this. Oh, are you kidding me? There we go. I don't know why it flickers. The warehouse mod flickers for some reason. Anyway, the idea would be you would take all of your coal and turn it into stacks of coal. You're using it? Okay, so it might just be the mod. But the idea is you would use the stacking to hold more in the same space, but our mod is auto overriding that. Or the one mod is making it so it doesn't do that. Weird. But the idea would be you would just set up a stacker, so you would harvest your resources, immediately throw it into a stacker, immediately throw it into a storage unit, and then from there you would then output it. It is for the belt, I just don't understand what the point is. You know what I mean? So like for example here we would do... Okay, I would need this to finish first. Okay, so we're gonna change this up. We're gonna go... Oh, level 2s take advanced anyway. Which means I can't do them yet. That warehousing thing is really going to piss me off at some point. Alright, and then these guys. So the idea is I would set them up... Oh dear. This top one doesn't have enough space. have to pull that one out. Well, I think the idea, Nate, is it lets you do a bus, but your bus doesn't have to be 4 or 6 or 8 wide. It shrinks it down so you can have a bus that's only 2 belts wide or 3 belts wide instead of like 8 belts wide, because it's a stack of 5. And then every time you have an output, you literally just have the machine. You just output into the machine, and then that machine just feeds a belt's worth out. So like it's for people that do the bus system, but don't want to have, like, for example, typically I'll do like a building here and a building here, and then I will do 4 belts going from the one to the other. The idea would be we'd come over here, like, the problem is I don't have red yet, which is where if I can do the other thingy, I could actually do it. Here, let's go with this. Crafting speed is... Oh, do I have another point? I do. Crafting speed. I always do crafting speed because I do a lot of in my hand crafting in this game. Alright. So I needed you. And I needed you. Let's set something up here. I'm going to set up a double real quick. 2 little machines. I'm going to set them up just to make cable for me, just to make this really fast. So much of this I need to continue to rip up. Rip that all up. And provide power from the other side. Whoop. Wrong spot. Got tons of crap in my inventory. That's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, and then there's going to be way too much in the inventory. Okay, I don't currently have the stuff to do that. Let's do that. Okay, so if we step in here... here and go. We're going to give you all the red and all the green. We'll give you some orange too while we're at it. Come on. I'm using a new mouse and it's not nearly as good. It's a very old mouse that I used years ago. My mouse, the clicker on my mouse just barely broke. So... here? No. Here. There we go. Like that. And the idea is you just fill it up all the way and then you can just belt feed them in immediately. Okay, so that looks good there. We have this guy here. Give me all that, and then we're going to say build. Yeah, see, that's the absolute most efficient way to build these here. And the problem is because there's no hypermodule or count. Oh my gosh. Can I get an automatic landfill maker? Houston, we have some problems that we're gonna have to deal with at some point here. Good. Somebody turned on rampant and forgot he did. Okay. Here's what I need. Pardon me. I need a output splitter, which I don't currently have one. Can't make it 100 science in my inventory. It's going to be a minute. Can you do landfill? Sure can. Hey, I do remember you. How you doing? It has been a while, hadn't it? Okay, here we go. Okay. Nice. I never forget a face. And your name is your face, you know what I mean? Alright, let's see here. Let's say I had a turret. I don't have a turret. Let me go grab a turret so that I can have a turret. I need one turret so I can figure out what I gotta do to make this work. Okay, this is a tier 1 turret. So what we're going to do here... They do have spitters though, so we're gonna have to keep that in mind. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take my coastline here and I'm going to fill it in, or fill in a chunk of it here, because this is going to cause lag issues at some point if this continues to grow. Oh, and they have officially moved in next door. Wait, where was it? There's enemies there, there's enemies here. Wait, what? Wait, I can zoom out further than and see further than my map can? Weird. The entire point of this this map is it's designed to end up forcing a turret creep, basically. Yeah, it's going to be part of the world. Oh, why did I grab that? Grab that. There we go. Okay, let's go with... That's a better power option. I'm looking for the casing. How come I don't see it? That one. Yes, I want that one. And it sucks because I don't have any of the alien ore yet. So we're going to be in a problem here. Pardon me. Ate the wrong thing this morning and now my throat's all jacked. The problem is, as of the moment, the basic spitters that they have are going to be too good for me to take out. So what I'm probably going to have to do is immediately go for modular turrets. Where are my modular turrets? There it is. Basic modular turrets. I'm probably going to have to prioritize that here in a minute. And I need more coal to make more. Okay. Yes, make them all. See, there's this problem called building everything in your inventory, and it has negative consequences. Thus, I'm experiencing it. The only thing I don't like about this is it sometimes will overstack them once you unlock stacking. Like, it'll try to stack them by 6 instead of stack them by 2. There we go. So I'll just let that go nuts for a minute. And then I've got that ready in case I need more. Okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, this is the idea. There we go. Stupid glitch in the game. Okay, so basically all of the coal is going to be replaced with coal stacks. And then it's going to go from there. And then here... Oh, did I change the iron? That's right, I was going to redo the opening here. Okay, let's go... like that. And we're going to redo this a little bit. We're going to throw a stacker here and a stacker there. We're going to try the stacker system and see how it goes. Okay. So from here, we're going to go... I can even go like that if I wish. Now I gotta check something here. Okay. I want to output you to do plate only for now, because I'm gonna open this back up and I don't want to accidentally be sending iron plate stacks out where they don't belong. There is more. I was super confused. I'm like, wait, where'd all my stuff go? Oh yeah, I determined it this way. That's right. I do like the way that they set these up where they just know automatic. Like, you don't have to set the recipe. You just feed into them and they know exactly what it is that they're dealing with. That's not fast enough. At least not at this speed. Not on red belts anyway. Now it's freaking out when I'm at the bottom. What the heck? Stop. Can you see it flickering again? So on my screen, the screen is black and it's flickering in and out that I can actually see it. Super annoying. Anyway. The nice thing is this is set to only let normal iron in. So the normal iron is going to feed in, turn into this, and do that. And then these are going to output and feed as they go. Right, and that's only going to go as good as it can. Okay, so we're going to try. Your filter is iron big stacks here. Sorry guys, you're not upgraded and I'm in a hurry, you know? making a bunch of science officially. Okay, so let's step in here, deliver that, take this, deliver that, get that research going. Wait, that could have fed in. What the heck? Somewhere in my brain I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. No, it works. Works just fine. There we go. Okay. Output regular plates. This is the idea. This is the idea behind the pieces. The amount of ore moving right there is ridiculous. That's 2 belts of red, and you're moving that much resource. We're up to a K, 1.1K. That's a lot. Yeah, and as fast as this can do it. Now, mind you, it's the crafting speed that it is. The next one up is a crafting speed of, who knows, we don't know because it won't tell us yet. Until we can get to the next piece, it won't let us know. Okay, can I set up a bunch of, what do you need? You need just some of this, alright. Okay, you need rubber. Lovely. We'll just keep cranking out those sciences in inventory while we can, while they're easy. Now, mind you, these aren't upgraded to level 2 yet. But those guys are going, and those guys are going, and they're going well, which is good. So this is going to just soak up a bunch of iron and transform it. And then over here... See, this is now feeding out regular. Okay, so we're going to... Basically, this is going to go for a long time. Stop flickering. I can't see. It's not very much. It doesn't look like at the bottom. I really wish they would figure that out. I don't know if anyone's even reported it though, which is where it's like they're gonna throw it back on me and be like, "You never reported it." I'll be like, but anyway. But yeah, the idea is that that's a crap ton of iron moving across that. Hurt my thumb the other day and it's like hurts to touch. But anyway, that's a crap ton of iron sitting there. And then the idea is we're just going to use basically one of these into one of these. So like right here, we would put a transform it back into normal ore port. And the idea is to get to the point where eventually yeah, and you guys are set to filter already. Perfect. Alright, let's do... It's going to take a minute because I'm trying to get all the pieces I need. The idea is to try... It should give you an ability to have more resources sitting somewhere. So, like, let's say you have a crap ton of extra iron, or like I do. The problem is the one mod is making the stack size 125. The idea is you would be able to stack a lot more resources in a very small space and then move it efficiently from one chest to another. Efficiently is the idea. Yeah, see, it seems to work for a minute, and then it freaks out on me. See, so that one's fine. That one seems to be fine. That flickering bug. Yeah, see? For some reason, our stacking is exactly the same size. But, yeah, like you said, that very much could be because of the other mod. Could be of the Yoki. How do you copy your settings on one building to another? Copy your settings? Are you talking about power inputs and outputs, or what setting? Which setting are you talking about? Okay, that one finished. We want... We need modular turrets researched. If I can get modular turrets researched, I can set up a couple modular turrets here with AP ammo, and they'll just sit there and start shooting them out, like what you were building. Are you talking about like blueprinting, or what do you mean? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. Sorry, I need like a full sentence versus a this or a that, because I'm not 100% sure. In my assemblers? Like, how do you copy settings from one assembler to another? That is... I think it's the shift clicking is what you're talking about. Are you talking about this, where like I can have a bunch of these guys and I can say... Okay, so like I say this one, if you shift left click and then right click, is that how it is? Is it? There we go. So if you shift... The idea is if you shift right click, you copy, and then if you shift left click, it then transfers that. So like I can say I want this one to make red, and I shift right click, and then I shift left click, and then left click, and then left click, and then left click, or you can drag it. Is that the one we were talking about, Nate? Yeah. Yeah, shift and control are very important when you want to quickly do things. Yeah, there's a mess of stuff there. And then I got a bunch more of these guys, which is good, because my next research is going to be of that. Once modular turrets finishes, I'm going to be swapping over to that one again. Military, which is going to be more stone. Oh, and that's enough to make a medium-sized building too. Medium-sized building and more military Oh, now I need coal. There. Like that. Trying to hurry and build one big building. If I can start getting the MK2 buildings, then I can up my processing by quite a bit. Here, we're waiting on modular turrets for a minute because of research-based stuff. So let's switch to... Where's my currency? That one. Oh man, it's 350. Yuck. Well, let's start it. I have like 70 or something in there. I need to set up another building here or here and set it up to build those sciences, or the whatever the one science is called, and send it across. It's flickering again. Gotta love it. But yeah, the idea is that this is a lot of ore going across there. Hey, I can set the two up again. Oh, that's a cat. Hi, cat. Where are you? Hello. How are you doing, kitty? Yeah. He's like, pay attention to me. Yep, yes, sirree. It's my boy. Oh my gosh, cat. Come here. Come here. Oh, I got my phone. Please hold. Kitty, come here. I'll pick you up. I gotcha. Kitty. There we go. You're a good boy, aren't you? This is the Berlioz. Oh, here he comes. Hey, bud. You're on my mouse again. Hi. See, a lot of these stacking mechanics I would never use just because, like these ones, a lot of these stacking mechanics I would never use just because it's like, they're not something I would need as much. Let's see here, can we do a... I want to filter iron. We'll see. We'll see if this ends up being something that's worth it in the long run or not. As far as transferring large amounts of resources really quickly, it's good. The problem is you can't, like, smelt these. I don't think. Let's try that. Yeah. You can't smelt it. If you could smelt it, like take a 5-stack and smelt it and then have it turn into 5 singles, like that would have been brilliant, but they didn't do that. I understand why they didn't do it, because it would have been insanely overpowered. Think about it. Think of how insanely overpowered that would have been. Okay, Interstellar should now be out. Let's go back to modular, start. And I should have enough research now to hopefully finish it. And then Interstellar, I need a crap ton. So just give me all of that and we'll go to town on this. Cool. Yeah, the stacking would be a lot cooler if we didn't think that the yokai was already causing it to stack. stack better anyway. Because at this point, it's not. We're not saving. We're technically not saving anything by stacking these. We're technically not. Yeah. Stacking the ore like this is pretty much worthless. In fact, I might even change that. Right here. Cool. Yeah, we're not going to stack the ores. Stacking the ores is pretty stupid at this point. Because the Yokai gives the same stack size anyway, it's pointless. It's pointless to stack those, so we're not going to stack the ores. We will stack the metals, just because it's not a bad idea to stack the metals. The metals are fine. Stacking the ore is pointless. Stacking the metal is fine because, as far as, like, my rule when playing this game is I would much rather have too much processed versus too much patch. Like, I would rather this patch didn't exist and instead it was these completely full of the plates. Like, that's the way I play. Ooh, we're on Fluid Wagon now. I'm tempted to do this one real quick just because it's fast. All 12. The crafting machines are super good. As far as, like, being able to craft resources much faster. It's pretty sick. See, because, yeah, the issue is that there we go. The issue is that the current stack size of these is the same stack size as that. Hang on, let me check. Let's save first off, just to make sure I don't mess anything up. Settings, mod settings. You can change the stack size. I don't see anything. Let's save. Quit. Settings, mods. LOL. LOL, this is gonna be funny. Hang on. Hang on, let's see if it works. Well, first off, I already have a bunch of stuff stacked at size 5, so we're going to have to see if those get deleted by accident. If they do, oops. Oh. I think I just glitched ore. I accidentally, just by changing that, all the ones that are currently stacked suddenly stacked more. Oops. Although I do like the stack size of 200 though. I think that's much, much funnier. Yeah, that's a oops moment if ever, huh, bud? Be like, I just glitched those. Now I have a lot more. Yeah, I do like the stack size of 100. If we can do a stack size of 100, I will stack everything. Because then it's worth it again. Yeah, I accidentally just multiplied a bunch of my stuff. My bad. Oh, that was not what I meant to put in there. Oh, it's still a default though. There's still only a stack. 100 is now one. See, now a stack of 100 is one plate, and they don't stack on top of each other. It's set to not let it overstack. Like 100 is the maximum, or 100, 125 is limited. Yeah, 20 times more. Well, sort of. Let's try. Let's try. I can't see. I can't see. Because it's flickering again because the stupid warehouse mod is having issues. Here's the thing though, as far as stack size go, it's still the same though. Here's the problem. Our normal stack size, so 100 plates, or 100 plates as one of those plates. I still just don't see it being worth it except for this. Like, I could change it back. In fact, I probably will, because I don't think it's any better still. Yeah, the 5 stack, you could have 125 on a single plate. It technically didn't change anything. It did duplicate a bunch of items by accident, but that's it. Enable belt boxes, enable loaders, stack size 5. Automatically unstack any stacked items picked up from the ground or belt. Hide unstacked recipes. Batch stacking. Belt boxes will stack unstacked in batches of 4, loading belts evenly and increasing through high-speed modded belts. Yeah, it only makes sense in throughput of belt. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. As far as storage goes, we're still at 125, so who the crap cares? As far as ores go, it doesn't matter. There's no point in stacking the ores, especially where you can't smelt them. If you could smelt the ores as a stack of 5, it would be worth it. But as of the moment, there's no reason to stack the ores because it's the same amount. It's only for throughput of belts. Which means that's going to mess up all kinds of stuff, huh? No, I didn't resave it. That's right. Okay. Yeah, and right now we're re-unstacking the ores. The coal I'm okay with stacking, I think. Or it doesn't even matter if we do that. don't even think the coal is worth stacking at this point. So yeah, we'll fix that. I do like the stacking of the plates. I do think the plates stacked is great. There we go. Yeah, the plate stacking is fine with me because I think it's still... Yeah, because iron plates... Yeah, plates make sense. Ores don't make sense. Plates do. And here's why. Well, 5 times 20, that's still 100. It's still 100 per stack, and 100 per stack is what I can do anyway. It's just belt movement. Which, the amount of space it would take to do it versus the amount of space it gains, I don't even think it's worth it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm whining, but I don't know. I don't understand. But yeah, we're gonna let this undo itself. And we'll just leave those stacked, I guess, just so that... I do like the idea of only having to have, say, one of these belts to be able to feed it. That's pretty cool. Other than that, it's like meh. Yeah, let's just replace them. And then I need to fix the top ones. Okay, these two need the better stackers though. Factorial's music going right now. I really wish that would be something that could be agreed upon as a industry standard, to stop having like to when they design music soundtracks from the get-go, decide that they're going to be non-copyrighted. That way people can listen to the soundtracks while they're streaming and while they're gaming and have it be okay. Pass those around. Take one down, pass it around. What do you pass around? Nothing. Okay, so that's iron. Let that go nuts for a minute. So do we have an insane amount of enemies sitting here now? Oh my gosh, we do. See, welcome to Rampant. This is Rampant. This is what it does. Look at this. Look at this. Do I have any modular turrets yet? I need stone. We'll build 10. Yeah! High damage, woohoo! You want to talk about using up ammunition? It's the way you go right there, boy. What I really need is a little bit of lubrication or engines. We'll see. Yeah, I do like the iron because I like the throughput option. Just being able to move, like, it makes it so you don't need to have like 4 or 5 belts on a bus. You only need like 1 belt on a bus. That's the whole point of it. Oh my gosh, look at all those enemies. And at some point, I'm going to try and like push out there, you know? I'm going to try and push out there and do stuff. Not for a while, man. I might rip up this back half and then set up a thingy over here. Okay, so did I ever unlock the crafting machine? No, I'm about to. Because here's what's going to happen, okay? I'm going to set up an automatic ammunition maker and then set it to feed out here, and I'm probably going to wipe out the bottom half of this power, or at least a couple of the power. But I want to get the crafting machines done so I can do crafting machines to produce ammo, and then hopefully immediately produce AP ammo while we're at it. There we go. Let's get crafting machines done. And then we're going to have to set up something here to be able to handle this. Because look at these attack waves. Look at how big they are already. Like, my pollution is nuts. My pollution has done horrible things to the enemies. Look at them. They're up to blue. They're huge. Actually, what I probably should do is set it up where it's flat here, and then just have a turret wall here so that the enemies will come up and fight. Versus down here on this little peninsula. See, they're gathered here because this is the pollution, is the steam, and then the stuff here. They prioritize pollution. Look at that. That's nuts. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. Problem is, I need... Here. Hey guys, can we output left priority, please? Like, very much so. Let's do... We're listening to the Factorio soundtrack. Yeah, you want to talk about using up old ammunition. This is how we're going to do it.
just set up a basic combat wall here. Open the gates of aliens. No. No. Bad idea. I've had many a bad idea in my day, but that one takes the cake. Oh boy. That's not good. Yeah, we have to have AP ammo. Regular ammo is not going to cut it in this war. Okay, I need copper. Did I level up again? Great, crafting speed. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Alright, I need a couple little things here. We need to set up a steel maker. No, steel we decided was going to be the other side. This is copper, that's right. Alright, so we need a copper. My eye is like dying. Ouch. Okay. Whose idea was it to turn on rampant? My eye is like dying right now. Alright, I want you to output filter stacks of 5. Okay. We're going to put that one there. Makes a decision with it because of this mod because it's an island. Oh yeah. Alright, so let's get that out, get that out, get that out. Make a better power line here. Okay, so typically when I line these up, I offset them, but because I set up more distance between them this time, I don't care. we're swapped over to stacks now, which is good. Trying to set up the correct ammunition here. Oh no, my gear maker's gone. That's right. Is ammo just iron? If ammo is just iron, then I can do this. Where are they? I hate the crappy short power lines. Can't stand them. There. Okay, we need iron to make it there, and then we need steel. Okay, and then we need... Oh. Yeah. Right. Mistakes were made. Hang on. I accidentally destroyed my gear maker by accident. Silly me. so many enemies, and they're still out of range. Oh, funny thing about the turrets, the modular turrets,
I can technically make the gun. I don't know why it's here. The heavy SMG, I don't know why it's listed as a intermediate product. But anyway, it counts as a gun. So I mean, I can... Still not quite empty yet. Okay, I need... What do I need? I need more of that landfill. Come on, guys. I'm trying to get him to step closer so my guns can take him out. Oh, pipe. Continue to make engines. Ammunitions. Okay. We're going to do arms in. Still don't have enough steel. It'd be funny if compacted ammunition was an option. That would have been funny. Have it, and then have the mags, stacked mags, just be mags that are thicker, like so it's a mag, but instead of it being an ammo of 10, you would stack it and it'd be an ammo of 15 or 50. I need to set up a gear maker again. Took apart my gear maker and now I'm suffering. I also just don't have iron in general, which is okay. I'm still gonna need to have a couple pieces here. Like I'm gonna need one of those there, like that. I'm definitely gonna need to have just a regular storage drawer with iron that I can access. And then from here, that. And then this is limited based on the speed of the tier 1 stacking belt box. So we'll have to adjust that here pretty quick. almost full. Which is fine with me. I mean, you go, man. And then we'll change this to a unstacking here at some point. There we go. So we got this going here. The problem is it's still not the area that the enemies prioritize attacking. Like they're prioritizing down here. Which means I might end up having to do this. I might have to prioritize a thing down here anyway and set up a turret down on this bottom corner as well. And then I need an output. They really want my power plants. Oh yeah, yes they do. You are not wrong. Okay. I'm not going to have enough ammo. I'm not going to be able to feed this beast. Oh no. What I really want is I want a mod that adds like a hole that you can make. You know what I mean? Like I would make it so that I had a kill tunnel where I had towers, and then I'd have a spot where it did connect, but it would be like a tunnel they'd have to go down, and then I'd have just turrets on either side shooting them. Maker. Yeah. Just saying, I think cliffs should be an added feature, like a feature that you can control and like build. my goal here is to get this built enough where... Ooh, yeah, see, now I'm not doing enough. Okay. I need iron. Like, more than you guys need iron, I need iron. That. Mind you, I don't need that much. I need like 2 stacks max. The idea is that this will, as fast as it can, try to keep this fed, this beast, to keep the ammo rolling, because the ammo is going to be needed to keep the enemies at bay. And what I'll probably do is grow this as close as I can to that lip there.
And I'll just set this up as a turret area to fight off the enemies and try to keep this under control, keep the attacks under control. See, that's the problem with playing with Rampant, is that happens, so. Oddly enough, though, after seeing that, it's really easy to tell why my stuff got destroyed, right? Resources I can actually do something. There we go. Okay, question. I need some weapon stuff. Is there a weapon damage here? That one. 250 military science. Alright, I need military science. It's official. I need military science. See, here's the problem. Most of my island, let's get rid of that. Most of the island that I do have is where the minerals are. Thus why I'm trying to, like, I need to harvest these and then trying to move my base over. Because my space is so smushed against the edge of where the enemies are here. You know what I mean? It's a real problem. It's like, I need to get this crap out of the way, but there's stuff in the way. It's like, And, like, I'd really like to get the selling thing going, the market. But I need to market at least twice. And this one's 350. I mean, I can start it. It's just, there's a lot to go to get it done. Sure, let's give it a try. And the funny part is we're up to, what, level 1, almost level 2 on the hyper module, but I can't get to any of the ore. And again, steel is the issue. We don't have enough steel. Let's be honest, we don't need the upper part here. The upper part's not in danger. I need to just extend the lower part here. Whoa, now they're moving. Now they're moving. Perfect. I'm going to build a peninsula in here, and then I'm just going to have a massive wall so that the enemies can technically get in-ish, but it's hard. Yeah, look at the ammo we're going through, trying to keep that fed. The nice thing about it is an actual, what do you call it? It is me actually using up resources, which is awesome. By like having this going and this going, like we are actually using resources, which means these guys are harvesting again and we're continuing to dissolve the patches. I need to see if I can set up a building to do the power instead of this. I need to see if it's possible to set up a building instead. Alright, let's see here. This one. Alright, it's the middle of the night. We're going to hack this up. Like that. Oh. Hang on. That one. Yeah, our power is now suffering a lot. Because I just took a chunk out of it. The issue is I'm trying to get to where we have better power sources. More efficient, more power in general. I mean, even just replacing these boilers, which are 50% efficient or whatever, even just replacing them with the next tier up would be awesome. Pollution. Interesting that it doesn't show the efficiency on it anymore. Interesting. enemies there. Okay, I have a big building here, and I want to see if I can set this bad boy up. So let's do this. We're going to grab here, like that. We're going to throw down a big building, like that. Connect it to everything else. Oh, but I'm waiting on power generation, right? The goal is to do a better power generation. So what we'll probably do is try to set up something like this on the inside, and then we'll feed in our bits here into it, and then we'll divvy it out to do the other stuff. Output mode. Okay. And then I legitimately only need like that's plenty for that. And then we'll set this up with fluids. And then we'll set up our power inside of there. The issue here being that I want the power generation. Yeah, look at that. And it's blipping so I can't see. Oh, yeah. How about that one? Wait, that one's full. I know it's full because this is full. See, and the hard part is, do we have science productivity anymore? Science. Let's go productivity. Productivity. We got mining drill productivity. But that's it. Well, here, let's start mining productivity. For the simple fact of, we have lots of that. And I think they changed it, so now it's what, 10% instead of 2%? So instead of wasting so many, now you have less researches, but they're better. I'll need to build a little building here and just feed iron and copper into it, and then build this whole ammo enterprise inside of a building instead. And then once we get the power going, we can set up the new power generation here. Time's at 1:30. How long have we been going? 2.5 hours? Okay. I really need to upgrade the arms. The stack stack inserter is definitely one I need to do as well. You're pretty quick. That one should fill up, which will be great. And then I should set up a little, like, the idea is I'll put all of my power inside of this building, and then once it's all inside this building, from there we can go on. Trying to get all the trees out of the way of the combat zone. Okay, so as far as the initial attacks are going, we're doing alright. We might even be able to extend our bridge of the enemies to be able to get to us. We might even be able to extend that more. Eventually we'll get it set up where there'll be a building right here for ammunition, and then this will be a path where the enemies that come in that want to attack will have to go down this death tunnel. And then I, in theory, should be able to connect it. And then just put like a triple wall with a gate at the end. And hopefully that'll be enough to keep them at bay. Alright, mining productivity. I'm going to pause you again for a minute. I was letting you run while I was waiting for something else to build. That one. Hopefully that's enough, and I think it is. I think it's quite a bit enough, actually. Just looking at how many are still running versus how many are left, and I'm pretty sure that's enough. Okay, power gen. Okay. You guys, we need that. You guys, we need that. Okay. Give me more. I need what? We'll have to check and see how well this fits. Okay, and then we need a power or a water in. Hyper module leveled up. I had a little bit of extra. Let's spend it on the that thing again. Not sure how some of this is going to work. We need to let that all finish. I'm trying to remember, fluids are kind of finicky when it comes to feeding them into a building. You either have to rely on your pumps. But we'll see. That looks good. go grab more fill. That's not what I wanted. Oh boy. See, this is what happened. This is why my other world died, was because, yeah, I bet you there's, yeah, see, look at how many are coming in this wave. Yeah, it's just absurd. Trying to keep up with that is where it gets nuts. That's crazy. Yes. Very crazy. The worst part is if we look, imagine how much trouble we would have been in. Because look, I only have 3 turrets guarding this tiny little entrance, right? The only reason why we're not getting attacked from this side is because we haven't found any enemies that can get to us yet. Like, the enemies we are polluting are absolutely attacking us. Interstellar. Let's go back to that one, the productivity. 10% productivity will go a long way on a lot of these resources. Okay. Input. Output. Where'd it go? 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 Output. Okay. And then my thought is I kind of want to do something like that for now. And then we're going to go... Does it tell me what my fluid throughput is? We're going to go like that. That way there's enough room for a third if we need it. And if not, who cares? Oh, and then I want to pump here. The idea is that these power options that we're using, these power options that we're going to swap to, are going to produce less pollution and still be able to produce more. Oh yeah, and then I didn't ever finish this guy here. I'm like, here, man. Yeah. Okay, that's my music going to what it's not supposed to be going to. Here's the thing I don't like about this music player I use. The music player I use every once in a while will just randomly change music. Like I'm on a playlist, right? I'm on a playlist, and then it'll play for so long, and then all of a sudden it goes bloop, and it goes over to somewhere else. Like, that was Toto. It just started playing. I'm like, why are you playing Toto? Like, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for you, you know? It's like, what? I'm like, please don't. In fact, here, let's go. Switch into some Borderlands. our temperature here? 200. 24, 35. How are we doing power-wise? We're now producing 12 from that. Perfect. The goal is to get to where this is overpowering this, and then this gets shut down. Because this is very pollutant. Like a healthy dose of our problems are coming from the power. Oh dear, I just shut down the power. I'm gonna get myself killed if I do that. Oh boy, look at all the enemies that are still sitting there. Now the goal is to ultimately set up a double wall here, where we're going to have a double layer of turrets. The hard part is I need to get some amount of oil, not a ton, just some oil, and if I can get some oil, then I can use the this setup to the bioindustry setup to start producing oil, and then I won't have to step out as much. The goal is to eventually have this connect in and then have a building sitting right here that builds ammo and then just feeds this giant chunk of turrets right here that will be able to keep everything at bay. There's some turrets. Okay. Okay, and then I don't have enough there. Oh, don't have enough space. Okay. And as long as they can all reach this chunk here, it shouldn't matter. It should be fine. Okay, I need more power. I need copper. Can I set up a, let's see, let's do one of these. Like that. We're trying the stacked ores just to see if we like it, and so far it's okay. It's interesting. The nice thing is it's definitely allowing us to burn through our ores faster, which is great because it also greatly increases our pollution cloud. Ooh, which is bad on this part. We need to not be polluting that side there. Here, pollution. Let's talk pollution real quick. Yeah. Drills and then purification chambers. The goal is to get rid of the boilers completely and go to the blast boilers because they're much more efficient. Yeah. Alright, so this guy. I need steel. Ooh, I never rebuilt my steel maker. Ooh, hyper module. Alright, so we're gonna go in output. We'll just build a little steel output here. Stacking. And we'll go power into. And then I'm out of steel again. Go figure. How are we doing, guys? Doing alright so far? There's rules about how far I can have these going before I start to run out. So one pump is still feeding everything. Okay. In theory, I should be able to get almost 10 of these. I think it's 8 or 10 of the blast boilers before I need to throw a second power or a second water source on. The idea is to have it flipped on both sides, though, and then basically do double on both of these, and then I'll try to set up as much solar as possible in the background to hopefully cover everything. And then at night, it will only be the time we're polluting using this, and then during the day we'll have a crap ton of solar. But we got to get to that point. Yeah, and there's a bunch of... In fact, did we ever get that going? We needed... I need some coal. If I can get some coal... and steel. Okay. Alright, let's reset our steel maker here. Oop. Now it's better to connect all the steam together with pipe instead of having them connected to individual boilers. Oops, that was the wrong one. Let me read that again. Is it better to connect all the steam together with pipe instead of having them connected to individual boilers? It depends. So typically, for example, let me look here. Okay, so one boiler can typically feed 2 steam engines, which means it's soaking up 60 fluid. So like 60 fluid is being produced essentially per boiler, right? And so having 2 steam engines is 60 fluid per second consumption. Now, if you look at these guys, they're different. These guys are 35 fluid consumption a second, but these are also more efficient. It's 75% efficiency, which means they're technically using, I can get 70 steam. So for every 100 water going in, 75 is going out, okay? And then these guys are using 35 each, which means it's 70. So I have 5 extra steam. So one of these is producing 2 of these and then 5 extra steam. So I throw an extra pipe in the middle. That way I can throw something like this on the end, and it has a little bit of steam to... So like if I take that guy off. Let's see, how are we doing here? You guys are good, you guys are good. So this guy is performing, but just barely. You see it when you have, like, if you have a full set of 10, you end up having, like, 2 extras on the end just running. Kind of a thing. But I have to get it built first. Problem is I need steel for that, and I don't have steel. That's why we're doing this, and then immediately doubling it down. The goal is to just get enough where I can have 8 of these guys just running in the background, running steel. And then with that many in the background, it should be enough for me to make it work. Because the amount of times that I actually come looking for steel is not super often. So typically, like, if I have 8 of these running in the background and I just go and doing whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of steel, and I'll run over and just go bloop, and I'll grab 800 steel. That 800 steel will last a while. Yeah, see, if this was connected, they would have easily gotten through and wiped out a bunch of stuff. So let's grab more. Ooh, kitty.
Hey, kitty.
And there's a cat. Nope. I done goofed. Oh, that was a pitiful little whimper. Come here.
Hi. Come here. Come here.
Oh. cat. Hey, bud. This is the Tigger of youth. Boop. Tail. Oh, bud. He came down and was whining at me. He's like, Dad, pay attention to me. You know how it is having fur babies. My wife and I don't have any kids, but we have 2 cats. They are the fur babies. Oh, bud. So what I'm considering doing here is, as we produce the fill, I'm probably going to level this off here, like that, kind of swoop it in, so enemies that come up will swoop up and I'll be able to maximize my turrets. And I definitely need to run at least a couple upgrades through. There's a purring putty tat on my lap. Where did that damage go that we were looking for? And that's another oil processing. Where is it? No, it's okay. If my cat sees my mouse moving around, he goes after it. You guys hearing the cat in the mic? He's purring into it. There it is. Modular damage. A 30% damage increase would be lovely right now. Almost to player level 13. I need to try something here real quick. I need to save the game and then try something and see what it does. Save. Back to roots. Save. I need to see how close I can make that and not have it actually be touching. And then the plan is I'm gonna square this off and then try and figure out our coast range here and then swoop the coast in so it's right next to the edge, and then we'll set up our turret range, and that way we'll have an extra couple inches here of turrets, or an extra 4 or 5 turrets able to set up here. And then once we have it set up where we have the correct amount of turrets and the correct amount of upgrades, hopefully, because look at this, look at this wave coming in. I'll try to use the water as a natural barrier, as a natural wall to keep the turrets safe, except for from the ranged ones. See, so it's doing what it's supposed to do, it's just clearly not enough. The fact that there's that many sitting here, there's this many just sitting here because they can't get to me yet. Really makes me fear for that down there area. And the problem is I cannot get lasers until I get some kind of oil. And again, I can't get to the oil. Now, if I remember right, this peninsula, yeah, it like all connects through and everything. Alright, do I have a... Let's throw down a radar there. Yeah, the blues are just too much. We're not going to be able to handle the blues yet. There we go. Alright. Hopefully that'll give us enough to get a good chunk of the damage upgrade done. In fact, what is it, 250? Oh, no, that's not going to do. No. Stop doing that now. Let's do... Just enough to get through how many grenades I had, because I hate carrying grenades on me, because I accidentally grenade my own base all the time. I'm like control clicking with a grenade in your hand. Not good. It's like, here, I'll just put this grenade inside this machine. Never mind. Like, it's gone. It's all gone. Let's go fluid. 2, 1, and then more is in here. Okay. Yeah, what I'm realizing is I need to just throw down another building to start producing the military science. Just because this is not cutting it. The amount of science, military science that I need at this point, I'm officially to the point where I need to stop hand making a bunch of this stuff and automate it. The problem is I've been space limited because most of my base, or most of my space is resources, which is great because it gives us a good starting chunk of resources to work with, but to that same extent though, it's like, it's not healthy, it's not good. Alright, let's put the military in. The problem is I wish there was enough military or alien alloy, alien plates or whatever, alien ore. I wish there was enough of it here, like right here, that I could just like collect it. But yeah. A cool feature that they could add though is make it so that the alien bodies had, if they added a like a speed, like a minus speed multiplier for it, so that the bugs like were slower crossing their own bodies, that would actually be a cool mechanic. What time are we at? Almost 3 hours. I'm probably going to be getting off here in a minute. Probably. The reason being is I have family in town, and we're meeting for dinner in a couple hours. But my wife's not feeling super great. She worked 6 days this week, and so she's super tired. And so I was gonna go hang out with her for a little bit, and then when she's like, okay, I just want some dead time, some downtime, then I'd let her do her thing, and then I'd go hang out with my family. And she could stay home, sleep, or relax, watch movies, whatever is. Okay, let's officially kill this. And then power. Okay. Oh, and that unpowers the turrets. Power is not enough. That's fine, because we're going to be editing in here as fast as we can. Oh. Like that. What a cool song. What are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we'll go for 10 probably, and then we'll flip and do the other side. Let's see where that puts us. Alright. It says we're producing 21. Producing 21. Okay, and at night we need to be producing approximately 50, almost 60. So at night we're definitely under. Okay. Let's do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll just about maximize our side here, and then we'll throw down a second side and run it the other way. Did my thing flip? Hang on. There we go. My thing flipped and I couldn't see my chat. I was like, pretty fast, but it's still fairly slow. Some of these, I mean, some of these pieces, you look at them and they take like 8 seconds. 8 seconds, so it's only a 2-3 second perk. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, how are we doing here? It's daytime, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I was like, how come we're so close to being, like, producing enough? And it's because it's daytime. We've got 5 bio solar farms, which are big. Very expensive, very space efficient. Which is where it's like, ooh. Yeah, I need to get off and head upstairs here in a second. I can hear my cat going crazy, and my wife's gonna be like, what's going on? They're like, come hang out with them, and I'll be like, alright. Definitely need more. Okay. The plan was to hurry and finish building this so that it would run. I can hear the cat. The idea was to get this set up and running, and then go automate military science. Which a big building, a level 2 building, you can do that in. I need steel, I need iron, I need stone. How much stone do I have up here? Close am I to another building? Yeah, getting there. Well, you're dying again, Nicholas? Why? Yeah, need more turrets. Need more turrets, better turrets, higher damage on my turrets, all the above. I need, it's cool. Ah, I'm sorry, man.
Oh, boy!
Oh boy, I have no idea what just happened. What happened? Something happened and it didn't tell me what. See, the problem is I've got the alert thingy that sort of works. I've got 6 different things and none of them tell me what happened. Alright, well, whatever happened, woohoo. I'm hoping if I wait long enough, an alert will pop up somewhere telling me what happened. We got an oh boy, and then I'm checking my stuff and nothing changed. So I'm like, oh. Nate subscribed. Nate, my boy. But hang on, this is YouTube, right? So YouTube subscribed is a follow, right? It's the equivalent of a follow on other things. Well, thank you, Nate, for the subscription, or for the yeah, that. Thank you. 6. Need one more on this building set. Oops. Shoot, and I need iron. It's just funny because it doesn't, a lot of the alerts are there or sort of there, and then they don't say anything, so I'm just like, you know, an alert pops up and I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, great, I think. Alright. The goal is to get this power set up real quick, and then I'll probably have to hop off. But that's okay. So you guys know, this next week is extremely open. So this coming week, I will probably be on pretty much every day. I'm going to be on a ton. A ton. Taste like love me. I love Borderlands soundtrack. It's so much fun. There we go. So that puts us at 10. Let's grab one just so I can throw it in and know what's going on. This coming week and the next one's full of exams. Ugh. College sucks. Pardon me. Yeah, I went to college like twice, 3 times, something like that. You don't know why it said you subscribe when you've been subscribed for a long time? I don't know. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly how it works. It pops up like that, and I don't know why. I really don't. See, the problem is right now is prime time for streaming. Like, we've now hit the time. Like, right now is when I usually start streaming, is right now. And then I go from, because it's 2 o'clock p.m. my time, from 2 to about 6 or 7 my time is the prime time. Maybe because you just subscribed? See, it said Nate subscribed on the thingy. But Nick just subscribed. I don't know. That's weird, huh? The answer is, I have no clue. See, this is the one thing I don't like about power when you use the factory buildings. It says that we're barely using power, but that's a lie. Like, we're using a lot of power. But yeah. At least we have this going now, because this is a lot more efficient. Yeah, we might be struggling bringing water in a little bit now. So it's yellow inside, purple. Nope, not there. Misclick. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting off here in a second. Near. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now it's refilling. Okay. Basically, having 2 is barely, or having 10 is barely enough for the water to keep up with, because the speed at which water can come in versus the speed at which it gets used is only so-so, right? Like, it's an exact science, but there's travel time involved, so it's off by just a little bit. The idea is to eventually get to where I can square this off like that. And then I'll put 2 more pumps here feeding into the bottom. So we'll have 4 pumps going in total. And then we'll set it up where, so we have this here, we'll duplicate it, flip it, right, and have it. And then we'll duplicate the entire thing and have it again. So we'll have a giant thing. The thing, though, about power with this mod pack is that this is a really good power source for now. And here pretty quick, if I type in power, will it show me? Yes. So eventually we're going to get to these bad boys, which are awesome. These guys are 90% efficient, so you get 10 megawatts per 1 generator going, which is like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. So efficient, too. See, now everyone gets on. It's prime time, which is why everyone gets on. 21 gigawatts and the game resets. 21.1 and the game resets. Or the world ends, whichever comes first, right? See, here's the problem. We've now hit prime time, and so now the views jump up. Which is funny, because it's how it works. I understand, it's how it works. I started streaming early today because it's going to be loud. Settings, sound. Problem is, I don't know which one technically that's supposed to be. I don't know. All I know is it's freaking loud. Like, blow your eardrums loud. Whoop, not there. There. Now, technically, don't tell anyone. For the first time, we've caught up on the enemies. I'm gonna need a loot chest soon. I do need a loot chest soon. You're absolutely correct. Wait, Chris. Lost, my boy. How are you today? So many enemies. It's ridiculous. There we go. Pop. One shot. Bang. I spoke too soon? What do you mean? Well, I'm just saying I'm finally at the point where, like, my turrets are enough to keep because what was happening was basically there was a full-time enemy army at my edge here. Like, thus all the dead bodies. This used to be just, there was a giant mass of enemies just there. Oh, there's always going to be more biters. We have Rampant on. But the point is, even with Rampant on, the turrets are now officially enough to keep the enemies. Remember that modular turret damage 1 that we need? This is why. Because we just had that, and it wasn't good. The fact that it took that long and the enemies just sat there for so long. He thinks about flying biters being added. I hope they're not being added. Are flying biters being added? Because that's just rude. Okay, do I have a bunch of... Okay, that's what I was going to work on. Right, so I was working on a tier 2. I need steel. There we go. Yeah. The goal is to set up a little building, right? We're going to set up a tiny little building here, and then we'll send some iron and copper down, and then we'll start producing the ammunition directly in that building, and then output it into the turret wall here. That way, eventually this will be able to connect. Right, we'll just be able to connect that, but we'll have turrets running the whole length, and then we'll probably end up having it be reverse, where we'll try to get a second set of turrets on the other side. Please don't hop off. This is your break. How long is your break? Because I do need to hop off soon. If it's your break, I understand, and I'll try to hang out. I'll try to stick around for a minute. Just how long is a minute? You know, how long is the break? How long is the break we're looking for? Let's grab that one. So much stuff. I want it. I just can't have it. Oh, we're already at Hyper Module level 6. Oh joy. Oh yeah, that's right. We officially killed off all the enemies. That's why. If I hop off live, you restart study. Well, how long of a break did you want to take? Because I do need to get off at some point, you know. I've been on for over 3 hours, so. And the nice thing is you guys can always watch it, like rewatch it, because once I'm off, the whole point of streaming to YouTube and Facebook and everything all at the same time again is for that exact purpose. The whole thing is we had a conversation about a bunch of the people that would watch the stream were like, well, they would watch on YouTube, right? And they'd be like, hey, you're not posting on YouTube anymore, right? Well, 20 minutes max sounds fair. That's fine. I can hang out for 20 minutes. That's fine. But anyway, basically, everybody that watched on YouTube were like, hey, you're not forwarding your videos to YouTube very quick. And I'm like, well, you know, I gotta wait 24 hours, and then by then I forget, and blah, 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 right, from Twitch, the way Twitch's rules were. But we swapped over to Twitch, or off of Twitch to YouTube and Facebook, and here's the funny part. I'm waiting patiently for Twitch to get back to me. I sent them a ticket saying, hey, will you take away my affiliate status? And as soon as they do, I'll start streaming to all three again. So I'll be streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at the same time. And potentially Mixer, too. I might set up... The program I'm with now will let me stream to 4 different places at once. And so at the moment I'm streaming to YouTube and to Facebook. And the goal is I might try to get to the point where I'm doing all 4 at the same time, because that's the way you do it. We're at the point now where the only way you can sell your soul to a single streaming service is if if you are fully, like, let's put it this way. If you started streaming on Twitch 6 years ago, RIP CPU quad streaming. Oh, no, not even that. It's,
I stream to a program that then streams out to the other ones. So I'm actually streaming to one website, and then that website is streaming to the other ones for me. I think is how this one's set up. The hard part is the one that I want that does absolutely everything, charges you $1 bazillion a month to do it. Which between can't afford that and won't afford that, you know. But yeah, the ultimate goal is I've got my, I changed it up so anyone who wants to donate donates through Patreon instead. So anyone who wants to donate, Patreon, woohoo. Anyone who wants to support or subscribe, that's how you do it. And then the hard part though is there's going to be less alerts because of that. Like if people subscribe and follow, based on whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or whatever, like if people are like following or like in that sort, that will show up, but it won't, like donations may or may not show up immediately depending on how you do it. If you donate money through my link, that'll show up on stream. If you subscribe to be like if you subscribe on Patreon, that doesn't show up, but it will alert me after. Well, actually, it'll alert, like my phone will light up if you guys do the Patreon thing, but it won't show up on the stream. It won't be like woohoo or anything and like pop up a little GIF or whatever. And it's because Patreon's API is not set up for that at the moment. It may eventually get to that point, but at the moment it's not. The thing that Patreon does do though is they don't take a massive chunk of the subscriptions away from the people. So as far as like, and that was one of the big things that was driving me nuts about running everything through Twitch, was Twitch is a 50% upfront group. They take 50% of your subscriptions right off the top. And Patreon only takes like 5 to 10%. So it's like Patreon would rather have the volume than have the cut, which is in some ways very kind of them. So, all right. I've got that one big building now. We have copper there, we have iron there. I could set it up that way and then probably end up having a little building here. No, because that would be in the way of... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up going. I'm just excited because by swapping to Patreon as my subscription service, like if you subscribe through Patreon, I get more of it, and so because of that, I can stream more. The more people support, the more I can stream, which is like kind of a thing. You're enjoying Factorio today? Nice. Factorio is a good one. Oh, hang on, I gotta check. I'm gonna be hitting. Store. I want library. I'm going to be hitting 2,000 hours in Factorio this week or next, so that'll be fun. Gosh, so much ore, and I can't have it. I want it, but I can't have it. Gosh dang it. Okay. All right, so we need to set up military turrets real quick, or military science. Now, military science is a little different now. It used to be turrets, now it's walls, which is much, much better, because turrets just took so long to make, and then they were needed elsewhere. Alright, we need wall, grenade, and piercing mags. Walls are just stone plus bars, and then grenades are iron and coal. We have coal here, so I can just offset the coal and feed it over. Okay. Oh my gosh, the cat. Alright, we're gonna go... So cute. Cat's like, meh. Alright, we're gonna go a handful of those, a handful of those, more than a handful of those. And then I need a... Let's see here. The amount of copper needed to do this, I'm trying to think. 50 cal machine gun turret and nuclear artillery is the cream. If you're not playing modded, it is. If you're playing modded, there's plenty more. Alright, let's go. Let's get rid of you.
put that there. See, the problem is these are yellows because reds take red circuits, which we don't have access to yet. This will let me go an input there, an input there, and an input there. Nope, not there. There. And then that one will be the coal input there. Nick, let me know when it's been 5 minutes or 20 minutes so I can hop off. Because my cat just alerted me that he needs more attention. He needs more love and affection. Yes, sir. I hear you, putty tat. Okay. So that'll give me coal, copper, iron. And then the ultimate goal is we need 5. How much do you guys need? We need 5. We need 5 for our output. I can probably get away with... Let's aim for middle. There. I bet you we can probably get away with running 5 if we do it correctly. We're not plugged in. Let's give it some power. Okay. 10 minutes? Okay. Military. Okay, grenades we need. I can hear my cat. Kitty! Come here! Hello! Hello, boy. Come here. Hi. Come here. Ugh. I got him around the middle. This is the noisy one. Oh, bud. He's like, he picked me up and I hate it, but he doesn't mind being picked up. He just whines. He whimpers. He's like, oh. Oh, bud. Gotta rub the butt. Cats are all about that butt scratch, you know? Oh, bud. You know, if you wanted to curl up on my lap and like, just purr away for a minute, I mean, I'll rub your tummy as best I can while I'm doing that. Ah, cat hair! You need brushed, huh? Remind me to brush you when we go upstairs here in 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see here. So we determined the output is there. And then the output... Hi, cat. There's a tail in my face. There we go. And I can't see you now. There's a cat butt in the way. Hi! Gotta pet the kitty. Oh, bud. Now, to be fair, as far as alerts being all hokey, alerts have been all hokey for a while, so... Here, let me move my controller. Do you want to sit on the box? Here we go. I need to put... Yeah, that's cold. I need to put a blanket or something there, and then the boys can sit up there and be nice and warm. Alright, let's go with... here. Let's... Cat's touching stuff. Okay. Just a little back storage here. Funny because it's going to drain this back storage to fill that back storage. Alright, so here we have iron. We're going to need an output of iron. Like that. And then we're gonna go. I can probably get away with one. Like that. I'm probably gonna need two to do that, and then that, and then that. Which means I need an output of that and another output of that. Okay, so we're gonna go with a little one. Let's see. So we're gonna try 4, and then we should be able to get away with just a little one here. Oh, and then you're making military mags. Military mags. That. Kitty, come here! The noises he makes. Oh my gosh. Cat, you're cute. Come here. He's like, "Mah!" The noises he's making are awesome. Alright, we're gonna go. Oh my gosh, Cat. He's so whiny and so adorable. He's like, love me! Okay. The nice thing is I'm able to test my actual defenses against the enemies without really endangering myself in the process. Cat, you're cute. Come here. Come here. Alright, so if we go like this... Sorry. Runny schnoz. Oh my goodness gracious. Come here, bud. It's okay. Where are you? Hi. Alright. What is it, sweetheart? What is it? You okay, bud? He's like, love me. I know, kitty. Hi. So handsome. Such a handsome fluff. Huh, bud? Starting to get those, what are they called, fur tags or whatever, where the hair gets all clumped and messed up and you have to like shave it off. He's starting to get those. He's already gotten 2 that we've gotten rid of, and he's got 2 more that we just found yesterday that we need to get rid of. You are shedding. Holy cow. You are definitely getting the brush when I get off here in a second. I'm just going to try and hurry and finish setting up military science, and then I'll get off. Alrighty, so we're going to go... do something silly here. 10 seconds. We're going to output and then input. We still have a stone input that we don't have yet. At least these are just coal and iron. That makes it a little easier. Okay. Okay, I can expand that as I need it. We're gonna go up. nice thing about having the buildings is that you can have a spaghetti base and it still works. Because it's like you have your inputs, you have your outputs, and then the inside can just look like a bomb went off and it's fine. It'll still do what it's supposed to do. Okay. Still doesn't keep up. Oh, I know. But if you look, I built it so I can add on as much as I need. The steel absolutely doesn't keep up, and that's okay. In theory, that's enough. Which, if you notice, I left enough space, or I'm leaving enough space that I can throw one more. Two more because I'm nervous. See, and I have enough room where I can put 4 or 5 or 6 of the grenades. I don't need that many. I only need like 3 or 4. This is this, and then I need a... Problem is I need a stone input, and currently I don't have a stone processing area. Honey! Okay, everybody, I'm hopping off. I will be back on tomorrow to play more. And I'll probably be on a bunch this week. Probably a bunch this week, just because I've got a couple of appointments. Tomorrow I have an appointment, and then the day after, let's see here, Sunday. So tomorrow I have off, so I'll be on tomorrow. Tuesday, I'll be on in the afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, I might not be on. And then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll probably be on. So anyway, just keep an eye out. Typically, I try to be on about 2 o'clock, which is about right now-ish, until about 6-ish my time. So right now it's 2:30. I try to go from about 2 to 6, typically, and then that's it. So anyway, you guys have a great day. I will catch you guys later. Leave a like, follow, subscription if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys later. Probably tomorrow.